After seeing this, I'm looking forward to the sequel, Getting Up. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're talking about a film from much earlier in the year, Falling. Before we begin, let me know in the comments what your thoughts on this movie were, if you already saw it, or if you were planning on seeing it, and make sure to hit that thumbs up button if you like these reviews, as it helps me out immensely by getting my channel out there. And if you're new here, I hope you consider hitting that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with reviews of new releases, older films, hidden gems, and so much more on a near daily basis. But let's jump right into it, and let's talk about Falling. This stars Viggo Mortensen as John Peterson, who lives with his partner Eric and their adopted daughter in Southern California. When he's visited by his aging father Willis, played by Lance Henriksen, who is searching for a place to retire, their two very different worlds collide. Viggo Mortensen also wrote and directed this, making his feature debut behind the camera, and it was released back in February, around the time of a film that handled some similar subject matter, which was The Father, with both films containing a father whose mind is slowly deteriorating. Now, while The Father was known for its delicate handling of its subject matter, leading to Anthony Hopkins winning Best Actor, Falling is a totally different beast. While I do think that those who have dealt with a family member battling a similar disease will be able to connect with this in some way, beyond that, things get murky here. Where this film will ultimately throw people off is Lance Henriksen's character Willis. This is not a sympathetic character in the slightest. Much of the film's story centers around John trying to help Willis find a home, only for him to be met with a barrage of insults by his father, no matter what he does. And I won't lie, it is rough to get through. Willis is as close-minded as they come, and to say he's rough around the edges would be an understatement, as nearly every other word out of his mouth is some sort of offensive slur. He's a selfish man who mostly doesn't care about others besides really his granddaughter, and he'll have no problem dropping 9 different offensive words in a 10-word sentence. And if you think he simply just doesn't know what he's saying since his mind's starting to deteriorate, well, don't worry, because about half this film consists of flashbacks to a younger Willis with John as a kid, and we truly see how selfish and obnoxious Willis is when he's completely lucid. So this is someone we can't feel any sympathy for. Not that Mortensen's really asking us to feel sympathy for this character, other than maybe 1 or 2 very brief moments here and there. But to get all of this in one time period or another for nearly 2 hours straight will be taxing for many viewers, especially as a lot of it will feel one note. Willis hurls insults at John still tries to be warm and patient with him, we cut to the past where John and his sister couldn't handle a lot of the insults, and repeat. It reached a point where I legitimately buried my face in my hands because I just felt that uncomfortable. Now, while this is not the sort of film you'd want to put on if you want a good time, I will note a few things. One is that the film is well acted all around. Henriksen does a great job of getting us to absolutely hate this character, while Mortensen himself does bring a delicate touch to his character that at least gives us someone to be invested in. And we do feel bad for him for what he has to go through, and considering how nice he is. Everyone else only gets so much to do, unfortunately, as most of them are relegated to just trying to keep tensions cooled with Willis hurling all these different insults. Though I will say that Laura Linney does briefly appear as John's sister Sarah in what's easily one of the film's best scenes, though unfortunately, it's essentially a glorified cameo, as Sarah's mostly just seen as a child in flashbacks. But the one other area where this really does work besides the acting is the film's exploration of trauma and how people will still carry it with them years later, as we see the torment that John and Sarah had to go through as kids and just how much Willis's verbally abusive behavior affected them. It isn't explored quite as much in the present day sequences though, instead opting to have these feelings bottled up for much of the film outside of Laura Linney's scene, only to come to a head during an explosive ending, which I will say made for another of the film's truly great moments. The way everything ultimately culminates does work, and I even found myself shouting, "Finally!" after all that. The thing is, considering it takes almost 2 hours to get there, the question that's raised is, was all that time necessary? Overall, I think Falling is a decent enough debut behind the camera for Viggo Mortensen. He does manage to bring out great performances from all of his actors, with himself also doing a fine job in front of the camera, and he does know how to hit the nail on the head when things reach their emotional boiling point. I just hope that he's able to add more layers to any future stories he writes though, and he refrains from just hitting some of the same few points over and over again the way he does here. That being said, what we got here was fine enough. It's not a must-see or anything, but if you do check it out, be prepared for an emotionally draining experience. Falling gets a 6 out of 10. So let me know, did you see Falling, or are you planning to see it, and what were your thoughts? Did you connect with the story? Do you want to see Viggo Mortensen direct more films? Let me know in the comments below so we can discuss. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please like it and share it, and for more movie reviews and film discussion, please make sure to hit that subscribe button to stay updated. Thanks for watching, everyone, and keep having fun with film.